What's going on guys, it's Unknown Player here, and in this video we'll be talking about the weapons we're getting in the April update and some of the things we'll be trying to get our hands on. And on Wednesday we're going to be getting the reveal stream about things to earn. That's where we're going to get more info about the weapons, the armor, and all the rewards in general, so expect more videos talking about the new info we get from that stream. But in this video I want to talk about the weapons we've seen so far, and firstly I want to take a closer look at this thing which I'm really interested in. This is called Her Fury. They got it from Varix, and you get this for doing one of the Elder Sigil challenges, which gets you a guaranteed weapon. But this is a really impressive looking sniper rifle, and it's very similar to the 1000-yard stare. If we bring up these stats, you can see it compared to my 1000-yard that I actually have, but in general they are very close stats. Of course, the impact and the fire rate are exactly the same because that's how these archetypes of snipers work, but other than those, the stats that can change, it's a very close match. And it's also very similar to the Her Benevolence, which was the Queen's weapon that was in the old version of the Prison of Elders, and that was a sniper as well, and it was a very strong one. Of course, that's now relevant with the year 2 and you can't bring it up, so for that reason I'm really excited to have another sniper in the mix, so it's not just the 1000-yard as the king of all snipers. I'm sure you know, if you go into Crucible, you're going to get sniped by 99% of all the snipers. It will probably be a 1000-yard stare, so I like diversity, and it'll be cool to have another weapon that could also be very good as well. The magazine size is the same, and of course the other thing we don't know about is the aim assist. That's quite a big factor, but I'm sure it'll be around medium. The 1000-yard is about medium aim assist. As it's shaping up, this Her Fury is actually going to be quite promising and definitely one to keep an eye on, and I really cannot wait to try it out. And of course I'm a big fan of sniping. I love sniping in the Crucible, so I'm looking forward to see what this thing can do. In terms of the other perks, it's got these 2 scopes, which is pretty odd. Of course, almost every weapon in Destiny has 3 scopes as the options. Not sure whether this is just a bug or whether it's something in the test build, or whether this Her Fury genuinely only has 2 scopes to choose from, but that was pretty strange. Both of the scopes are actually really bad. I can tell by the icons, and none of them have the short gaze or the long view 10, so that's something you have to, of course, get lucky with and try and get one of those scopes. And also the last thing you can see that you probably notice if you haven't seen those before is the 2 red nose, which look pretty new, and those are to do with the red chroma effects, which is like a visual aspect of the weapon. I'll talk about it in depth in a video, which I'll link in the description if you want to find out more about weapon skins and chroma glows and stuff like that. But this weapon in general just makes me excited for the weapons we're going to be getting in the April update. Of course, they're reskins and it's not like crazy new stuff. They're not like completely brand new weapons, but I'm just excited to have new weapons and some things that might be good. Now, in terms of the weapons we're getting, we seem to have seen most of them in the images we got from the Game Informer interview, and they go through a bunch of pictures with Guardians holding and equipping weapons, and you can see just about every single type of weapons there are in Destiny, except for 3. You can see all weapons which are either on their hip, or their leg, or they're holding them in their hands, and the only ones we can't see is a scout rifle, we can't see a sniper rifle, and we also cannot see a machine gun. So I'm not sure why they didn't include those, but we've seen just about every single type of weapon. Some of them are like prison themed with the fallen look going on that we used to get from Varix, like this auto rifle. Some of them are of course Queen themed, which we used to have with the Queen's weapons that are like pink and have the Queen logo on it. And we of course have this taken shotgun, which we know what's going on right there, whether it's a skin, whether it's a shader, whether it's a type of weapon that dropped on it all the time, whether it's a chroma effect. We don't know what's going on there, but it seems to be a variety of the Queen's weapons and also the prison weapons. Now, one thing you've probably noticed is that they even have a Prison of the Elders sidearm, which is actually pretty new. The sidearm is always left out, it's always like ignored when we get the new sets of weapons, and most endgame gear sets don't include things like the sidearm and the sword. Like the King's Fall set doesn't have a sword or a sidearm, the Iron Banner set has a sidearm but no sword, and the Trial set doesn't have a sidearm or sword either. So it's a pretty incomplete set of weapons, but this is cool to see. We're actually going to get one of every single weapon type, and of course the sword is another thing that a lot of people are excited about. It appears to be a Void sword, not sure whether it's exotic or legendary. It definitely has the uppercut attack when you hit R2 and you're in the air, but so far all we know is that it's taken, and it's of course going to do void damage, and of course it's very cool looking. Now, one final thing I wanted to mention, which I want to get your guys' thoughts on, is the possibilities of the exotics. Of course, we don't know exactly what we're going to be getting. One thing I thought of is that it's very likely, in my opinion, that we're going to be getting the Lord of War's Dreg's Promise and Queenbreaker's Bow returning in the Year 2 version. Now, the reason I think we're going to get these is because simply we didn't really get enough time to play with them. We only got the very short period in between the House of Wolves and the Taken King, and we didn't really have much time to fully experience the weapons. Now, I know there are a lot of Destiny players who wouldn't have played with them either. I mean, Bungie, it kind of fits in with what they'd normally do. If there's something really cool that they've worked on, like these weapons, then they wouldn't want loads of people to have never experience them, and they're kind of year 1 weapons which no one ever really plays with. So I think Bungie would definitely want to bring these weapons up to year 2, and especially how they were the main rewards for the year 1 version of Prison of Elders, I think it's the perfect opportunity then to bring them back into the year 2 version of Prison of Elders, and I think it's very, very likely to happen personally. And I also think that these are some of the best looking exotics in the game. They're definitely not the best, they're definitely not the most effective or like powerful or overpowered, if you want to call it that. They're really not even that great in terms of weapons. They're very specialist and only good in very good situations, but they're some of the most unique exotics. I think it's really awesome we actually got to use some enemy weapons. These are straight out of the Fallen's hands, and we get to use them, and they look all alien. You can see like alien text all over them. They've got these weird scopes, and they're just really, really impressive weapons. So I would love to see them brought back in year 2. The Lord of Wolves is kind of good in PvE. It does a lot of damage up close to mages. The Queenbreaker's bow can be good in Crucible if you've got very good aim, and it's got a lot of aim assist as well, but it's one of those very like weird gimmicky weapons, kind of like the No Land Beyond, that you can use in certain situations. Drake's Promise admittedly is an awful weapon. It's pretty bad, so if they do bring it back, I'd like to see them upgraded. But that is just my thoughts about the weapons. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed, and of course you want to stay up to date with the latest videos about the April update, you can subscribe to this channel and follow me on Twitter. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.